non-Doctor Who related episode. What's going on? Well, two things. One, Will's been wanting to do this video for pretty much since we brought him on board, so I think it's about time we do something Will wants, because normally we're just telling him what we want. Thanks, Will. But also, I was looking for videos that wouldn't be too strenuous for me to make. Ta-da! And last but not least, there's only so much Doctor Who I can pull out of my brain without the well of knowledge that is Jordan. So, without further ado, we're going to be ranking all the Star Wars films. All of the numbered entries we're talking about. So that's not Solo, not Rogue One, we're not doing any of the shows, we're not doing just 1 to 9. Start from the bottom. At the bottom we've got Rise of Skywalker. Now, I'm not going to be one of those fans that the films. I hope I've made that clear that I don't want to be that sort of fan in any sort of thing that I support. So all I'm going to say, well, actually, to be honest, I still enjoyed it. I'm going to say that. I enjoyed that film. I think it's flawed, and I think it's the worst Star Wars film, but I still like Star Wars. And then just above that, we've got Phantom Menace. Now, yet again, I actually really like Phantom Menace. I think it's a solid enough film. I mean, the prequels have got their issues, and everyone knows that. But I think just for the fight at the end, it nearly got higher up on my list. Darth Maul. Darth Maul is great, and you've got to love him.
Gordon's alive!
Being friends. Oh, calamity! Oh, how! Cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war! I could have farted that in!
Next, we've got Last Jedi. Now, Last Jedi is one that I go back and forth on it about how much I like it. There are some things I really like about it, some things I'm not so keen on, but I feel like one of the reasons that Rise of Skywalker is lower for me is because it took a different path than you were expecting, but it fully acknowledged the film before. It followed that idea and it kept going. Whereas I feel like Rise of Skywalker kind of tried to brush Last Jedi under the rug as much as it possibly could. Obviously there were bits it couldn't avoid acknowledging, but stuff like, you introduce this character, let's just push them to the back. We don't need them anymore. Everything, all that character development that character had, well, don't want that anymore. So, I just did the thing I said I was going to do. Anyway, that's why I liked the like force projection. I love the bit with Luke at the end as well. That's good. And yeah, again, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Next up, we've got Attack of the Clones. I mean, the thing with the prequels is you've got Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm never going to let anyone try and suggest that that's not a great thing. It's Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. It is fantastic. Next up, we've got The Force Awakens. Now, The Force Awakens, people often say, is kind of a rehash of New Hope. That being said, New Hope is a good film. So if you're going to rehash a film, at least they picked something good. But also, it was the jumping off point of a new trilogy. So who went to the cinema, sat down and watched it, and didn't leave thinking, well, I'm excited now. You know, it was reassuringly Star Wars. I think whether or not you were a full pessimist, I think everyone had a slight concern. They didn't quite know what Disney Star Wars was going to be. I know Disney Marvel is fantastic, but they have Kevin Feige, who was on board before Disney took over, whereas Disney Star Wars was an entirely new. It wiped out all of this extended canon, which annoyed a lot of fans. It brought on new people. It kickstart it. You know, it wasn't something that was still going. It was basically resurrected. So it was, and it was good to see everyone back, wasn't it? I know we didn't get Mark Hamill really, but it was. Carrie Fisher was in there, and of course, you've got Harrison Ford finally getting what he wanted, because he'd been rallying for Han Solo to get killed for years. So you know, he's got to win points for that. Also, that bit is that's a good bit of filming. Well done. Next up, we've got Return of the Jedi. It's an ending of the original trilogy. I personally, obviously, because it's where it is on the list, I think it's the weakest of the originals. That being said, it's still a great film. The weakest of the originals is not a title to be ashamed of, because those films, they shaped what it was to be a sci-fi film ever since. People are still comparing, not even just sci-fi, people still compare films to that trilogy. Whenever you talk about trilogies, quite often, you've got sort of the Star Wars comparison. So, the Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, for example, gets pretty much the same comparison of that, which is you've got a good film, a great film to start with that they could never possibly top, then they top it, and then the next one just doesn't quite hit the same heights. But it's difficult to strike gold 3 times in a row. It was still good. It's still a great film, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Ewoks, you can sit on each side of Ewoks that you want. Obviously, I was not around when the film came out, so the first time I saw it, I thought Ewoks were great. Now I think they look tasty, so it's top 3 time now. So third place, in my opinion, third best Star Wars film, Revenge of the Sith.
Hello there.
It's the best prequel, easily, and I just think it's a great film. You finally get a feel for Anakin and Obi-Wan actually being friends, which makes the betrayal worse. You get some cool Clone Wars stuff in there, which is great. You've got General Grievous is a bit, wishy-washy in this at the beginning, but you gotta love Hello There, which is brilliant. Obviously, again, Ewan McGregor. Gotta love Ewan McGregor, and also you see it's the point of the trilogy, of the prequel trilogy, essentially, is to show you the rise of Darth Vader. So you finally see Darth Vader. All you get is no, but you still see him. It's the journey, first destination on that one. But you've also got just Palpatine. It's his film. Look, it's said several times that it's his trilogy, and it really is. But especially in that film, it's a good film. Second, I don't know why I'm looking at that anymore. I already know the rest of them. This is easy. It's A New Hope, the original Star Wars film. It's great. It's a miracle it turned out even half decent, but even more than that, it started a franchise that's still going today, and it's a good film. It's great. There's lots of things, you know. You got Han Solo being introduced. That bit with him shooting first. Everyone knows that. Han shot first. All great. It really establishes his character, and it starts off this fun sci-fi romp that we all love. We all know and love. And finally, the best Star Wars film, I don't think is going to surprise anyone. I honestly don't know a single person who would disagree with it being Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back is such a good sequel that when someone makes a sequel that's better than the original, that's what they compare it to. No one ever goes, oh, you mean just like any other No, you don't do it. And if you think you do it, you don't. You're wrong. What you say is, they did an empire. That's it. And films even aspire to be that. They'll try and take the darker turn. You've got to remember, at the end of Empire Strikes Back, they lose. That was basically unheard of at that point. It just... You've got the revelation of Darth Vader being Luke's father. I mean, everyone knows it now. At the time, it's one of those things that's a slight victim of its own success now, because a lot of the twists you know going in if you're if you ever watch it at an older age, but watching it without any prior knowledge, that's an experience I wish I could have again. It's practically a perfect film. Honestly, it's one of those films where I wouldn't change a frame. It's spectacular. That is a frame of the DVD box set release I've got, because it's got the correct Emperor Palpatine. Controversial opinion, not everything George Lucas has changed since is a bad thing. Most of it is, but that's not, so hey. Please let us know your ranking of the Star Wars films in the comments. Please don't just go there and shit on the ones you don't like. Something to remember is not literally every film, but practically every film is someone's favourite, so bear that in mind. I hope everyone's keeping safe. I hope you enjoyed having something a little bit different. Thank you for sticking with it this far if you have. And as ever, take care. May the Force be with you. And wash your hands.